And we're live. Good evening, good morning, good night. Welcome to another episode of Hong Kong House of Cards. This scene is currently taking place during downtime and will be posted at the end of the June downtime. It's a little museum social scene. Dimitri is heading to the museum basically to take a look at make sure his new access card works so you can actually look at the chambers and stuff. And then basically, once he's done that, he's just going to head down to the VIP lounge and see if there's anyone currently there.
One would argue you definitely arrive first.
Probably. Is Shar going to show up? Or Wes? Either one?
Yeah, sorry, it just got really loud, so I muted.
It's okay.
In that case, Shar Flickerflame will make his way through this. Will make his way through the museum. His eyes flicking to each one of the familiar exhibits, one after the other. The mask he has chosen today is a delicate porcelain affair that sparkles effervescently beneath the neon lights. He will swipe his own keycard as he descends into the bowels of this establishment in order to enter the VIP room.
Ascends, but yep. Downstairs there's a node. Don't want to go there.
Ah. I really want to go there now.
No, you really don't. We'll save that for later when there's an ST.
Okay, cool.
Right.
He will ascend then. Haha.
And then he became a level 10 mage. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways. Okay, so he exits the elevator. Wes, you going to have your character dare the horror-filled museum of crazy people in fur?
Yeah, definitely. He's feeling brave tonight.
Okay. Your access card should work just fine. And you'd be able to get up to the VIP lounge. The only people there are, the creepy guy with the glove and Shar, because I have no description for that other than Shar.
Hi.
Hi
Oh,
again.
it's so good to see you, friend Wes.
Oh, it's you, fairy man.
He prefers Changeling now.
It's quite all right. What is a mild insult between friends?
Okay, cool. You didn't take that as an insult. All right.
He shrugs and he says, "What do you understand as fairy, and what is fairy are definitely two very, very separate entities."
All right then.
Dimitri just kind of waves at you both like, hey, I'm not going to get up. I'm comfortable sitting here. Bring the conversation this way.
This one is wondering. Can somebody who can roll dice give me a roll, please?
What do you need?
6 dice. Dice.
6 Ds. All right. What was the difficulty?
6.
Two successes.
Shar will blink his brilliant purple eyes as he looks at Wes. With 2 successes on my kenning roll. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What does Wes look like?
In what terms?
Basically, we've been using kenning, like, for example, you can we can see the were forms of Garou, we can see the swirling nimbi of mages, kind of shit like that.
Psychics look exactly like normal people. They actually don't have any sparkles unless they're actively working their abilities.
Shar blinks at him and says, "Wait a minute." His eyes blink again rather succinctly, and he says, "You shouldn't be here."
He's Pentacles.
I shouldn't.
No, he's not. You look completely different.
Not all Pentacles have
Didn't
the
we already
same
go through all
aura.
this the other day?
It was confirmed by the Hanged Man, and I believe later by the Speaker. Not all of us have the same aura. Much like Ava's aura is very different.
I suppose so. Shar will kind of... He became very, very rigid when he thought that you were, not supposed to be here, and then his entire demeanor relaxes again. So, Wes, what is your full name?
Wes Roth.
Wes Myseroff. Is that it?
No, Roth, R-O-T-H.
It is a pleasure to meet you. Properly, that is, now I know your name. What does it mean?
Something about Western Fields.
How nice. I remember the fields when they were in bloom. So many beautiful flowers.
Dimitri's just gonna start humming down, down, down to that burning ring of fire. Under his breath, though.
Shar kind of nonchalantly turns and you can tell that there's smiling in his eyes, and he asks, "Dear Mr. Dragomir, is it Dragonmere or Dragomir?"
It's supposed to be Dragomir. No N.
Okay. You know something? You're right. There was a ring of fire. And then the fields burned. That's how I got my name, you know. Flickerflame.
I'm sure the dead were piled waist high. Or better.
No.
Maybe I'm underestimating.
No. This was a long time ago, in a place that is beyond our ken, beyond yours, when we would bathe in dragon's fire and have it lick around the contours of our bodies. And then we would emerge, flickering like the day, sparkling like the sun.
Sounds interesting.
O ye of little faith.
No, it genuinely does sound interesting, just not something I'm ever likely to witness, I'm afraid.
I don't know. I think they have them in the States now, those weird UV tanning stations.
At that, Dimitri just like smirks. Like, eh.
That is the problem with you. Will workers. So much power and so little imagination.
To be fair, he's from the military. No offense, sir, but let's just
You
say
are a
there's...
soldier.
None taken. Ex-military.
You're a soldier.
Was.
How wonderful. Upon what battlefields did you serve?
Sandy ones, I'm betting, given your age.
Sand, rock. Not much more to it.
I should love to test your skill at some point.
I'll keep that offer open.
How wonderful.
A long time from now.
So, Wes, I mentioned you to the speaker. I know there wasn't anything said last night. Something like this would not be covered in the open council. The speaker will at some point get to trying to have a bit of a talk with you to see about your, help you figure things out.
Sounds good.
And what is it that you do? You're one of them, but you're not one of them.
You mean me?
Yes.
Are we talking professionally or hobbies?
As in, you don't glow as brightly as they do.
We're kind of still trying to figure that out. I don't really know what I am. I know I'm human, I think. I bleed red.
We shan't hold that against you, of course.
I'd hope not. I prefer to live long enough to, you know... You know what? I don't really know.
And that's what the speaker is going to discuss with him. We've seen enough from him to know he belongs with us, but beyond that, we're not sure as to the details. But he's still under our protection.
You act as though I would harm hair on dear Wes's head. He's my friend, after all. I would never countenance such a thing.
I never insinuated as such. I'm simply saying it.
You made the point that he was under your protection, as if to say that he would not be safe.
No,
Poor darling lad.
simply that he is under the umbrella of the Pentacles.
If you think about it, the Pentacle is indeed the only house that could actually form an umbrella.
I suppose. A cup could be placed over something, though.
Yes, but then you'd have to... Yes, I suppose so.
And then
But it
you'd
would
have
be-
to empty out the contents within. Exactly.
Yes.
The irony of this conversation. Everyone's talking about protecting me when it's my job to be paid to protect others.
That is true.
You are a bodyguard?
Of the sorts, you could call it.
They call them PMCs, private military contractors.
Why?
That's simply the title we use. Much like others would say mercenary, others would say bodyguard. It's simply a term we use.
So you are a man for hire, then, Mr. West?
I guess, but I am a bit picky with my clients. If things don't really look on the up and up, I'm not going to work for just anybody.
And would you kill someone upon the command of another if they were filling your bank account?
Like I said, I guess it really depends on who hired me and who I said could hire me.
And also the scenario. There is a difference between being paid to protect someone to the death and simply walking out and committing cold-hearted murder.
He's not wrong.
In the end, death is death. The closing of the book. Whether you do it in protection or whether you do it standing over their limp, helpless bodies, it is the closing of the book.
Yeah,
No, I
but that book
suppose-
could have a good ending or a bad one.
My dear West, this is Hong Kong. All the books have a sad ending.
Demetrius kind of grins at that. Some of us choose to rewrite the book.
He will say, yes, but then again, to the eyes of history, they will always be childish blots upon the page.
You've
You'd be
never heard of the
surprised
Collegium of
about
History,
history.
have you? Sorry, go ahead, Wes. Sorry. Lag.
I think we were kind of going towards the same thing anyway.
Probably not in this case. So go ahead.
Oh.
Go ahead.
All right. No, I was gonna say, you'd be surprised how many people in our history get revisited.
Shar, or Sir Shar, I should say. My apologies.
He will raise his hand and say,
Sorry, you cut out there. You still there? We probably lost him. He's probably going to disconnect.
no, he's here.
Okay.
Sorry. He will raise a single finger and he will say, Sir Flickerflame.
Very well. Sir Flickerflame, I will tell you something. It is not a secret, or at least it is not a secret of the Pentacles, because, after all, the Pentacles do not normally include my folk. There is an organization known as the Collegium of History. They exist within the Technocracy. Would you like to take a guess as to what they do?
Shar will say, they rewrite what cannot and should not be rewritten. You've already addressed these entities in the past.
And they change it. It actually changes in the reality of all who were aware of it. A rather disturbing notion, some would say, but
Wait, you guys do what to what?
They
You just
rewrite history.
not in the sense of time travel or DeLoreans, I assure you. Very different. It's more the idea of shaping the perspective of everyone who would look upon the scenario, changing a few history books here and there, putting a few new research papers out, and then simply twisting everyone's perspective to fit the new paradigm. And suddenly, there was no Bosnia. That's a poor example, obviously.
Shar kind of raises an eyebrow. Bosnia?
What is a Bosnia?
There was a conflict in, I suppose some could call it recent history, which was unpleasant there. Some people would prefer to forget it. Many such places have histories like that. It was simply an example. I don't believe anything of that nature was ever covered in the Collegium. They often deal with events much further removed.
Yes. Perhaps. And then these dreams that were dreamt then go to the dreaming and become twisted because they are no longer dreamt.
I would say that is a matter of perspective. For those who would dream of those events now dream of the new events. The dream has altered, but the dreams still exist. The dreamers still dream.
Shar will nod and he will say, even technocrats dream, you know. It all goes to the dreaming.
Except for the ones that do very bizarre things with their neurochemistry. Yes, for the most part, I would say you're right.
Is it, I've been told his name, Mr. Smith? Is that the name of their head here?
I believe so, yes.
I wonder what his dreams look like.
I wouldn't hazard a guess. And I would not... I'm not sure that's the sort of knowledge I would want.
But as you already said, you have done horrible things. I wonder what your dreams look like. Do you remember their faces twisted in contorted horror?
No, usually by the time they get to the table, they're long since, past rigor mortis.
Oh.
I was never much for frontline field work.
He shrugs nonchalantly. We all have memories, both good and ill. We all have dreams that are the reflections of those memories.
If it helps, though I highly doubt this could be considered helping, myself and Miss Langley, along with some assistance from others with us, had to kill 5 people to secure our passage here. 5 living, breathing individuals, some of which were our co-workers. Most of which we had never met before that journey, but...
And do you ever see their faces when you close your eyes?
Well, I saw one of them for a while afterwards, but he's the exception. No, I can't say I do, but I can't claim to be perfect. If they haunt me, they do not stay in my memory upon awakening.
And you, Mr. West? Do you think about those hot, sandy places? Those palm trees? Those mangled bodies mangled by your hands?
Hard not to.
Do they have palm trees in Iraq?
Out of character note, yes, they do.
I didn't really pay attention.
I was going to say, out of character, I don't know either.
Out of character note, I have been to that area of the world when it was slightly more stable. Yes, palm trees exist.
Okay.
I was gonna say I think they've got a pretty diverse amount of trees. It's weird. They have a lot of pretty kind of standard desert tree and foliage out there, but I don't know. It's kind of weird.
I like this city at night. It's very pretty. Shara will kind of nonchalantly look at the clock that ticks on the wall and say, however, the hour does grow late, and I am expected to dine later this evening. Mr. Dragomir, you shall have to join us for dinner some evening.
He kind of thinks for a moment. As a kind invitation, I will consider it at length. I thank you for the offer.
Shar will make to walk to the elevator, and he will stop, and he will look at Wes, and you see the brilliant purple eyes, and he will say, all soldiers dream of what they have done.
It's natural. However, it's if we let those dreams control aspects of ourselves that it becomes a waking nightmare.
And then Wes manifested lucid dreaming. Nah.
And with that, Shar will he won't wait for a response. He will just casually walk to the elevator and press the button to descend and leave the museum.
All right, and Dimitri, for his part, just kind of looks at Wes and says, I should probably be heading out as well, but I don't want to abandon you quite this quickly. Do you have any, if you had to name one or two questions from last night, is there anything I could answer?
Is that going to happen again?
Having a meeting of that size? I assume so, but I have frankly no idea how often they are. It's been nearly a year since the last one. But I am under the impression they're supposed to happen more often. Perhaps it could be every month, perhaps every other. But I imagine the meetings would normally be filled with a lot less posturing and debating. Bear in mind, you saw how many seats were on that council. There are supposed to be 21 of them, or 22 actually, if you count the fool. So we only had 6, I believe. Now we have many more than that.
And I guess my second question is, will there be blood next time?
Oh, no, it's actually impossible to harm each other here. At least not without extensive preparation, I would assume. This place is, for lack of a better word, enchanted. There are apparently some sort of, well, they call them dove spirits. I'm not sure what they are, but some sort of astral entity of some variety, some sort of creature. They exude an aura that makes it almost impossible to muster up the courage or willpower to attack someone. For example, he just looks at you, and you see him kind of like, he's standing at relatively close range to you, and you see him just like kind of pull his hand back slowly, and it halfway balls into a fist, and then he drops it. He's like, that was me attempting to punch you. It's
Weird.
literally not possible here. Ditto with knives, or I assume hostile magic, or whatever you would call it. Though obviously there are things which are excluded from this, as you saw the other night. Whatever it was that Shar did, I don't remember a damn thing. By the way, your character actually might remember something about it, whereas I have banality 10, so I literally forget everything.
Well, I remember of sorts a planned duel or a fight for that warrior position thing.
Well, if I understand the rules correctly, he won't actually get the position just by winning the duel, though it would, in his eyes at least, make him more qualified for the position. Whenever our next meeting is, he would most likely ask for it. I don't know who would win out of that fight. I've heard Bosco referred to as a werebear, as you recall, and, well, you saw a were-rat. Imagine how much nastier a were-bear would be. But then again, apparently this Shar has something of a reputation. I have no idea what his actual abilities are, but if he inspires fear in others, it must be worth something in a fight. In any case, I don't believe if he wins the fight, it makes him an automatic for the position. It might eliminate one rival to the position, but he still has to convince the council to allow him to take the position. But hopefully the next meeting will actually consist of a lot more policy and less election. Now that we've filled some of the seats, it's time to actually put some things in place. What did you think of my costume, by the way?
It's looks like something out of a video game.
Funny you should mention that. Let's just say the aesthetics were designed with something like that in mind. You'd be surprised how close those things are to reality when you actually take the physics apart. But no, that was a prototype. We're actually building more of those. They are quite usable by anyone, whether they are like you or like me. Probably the only people who couldn't use them would be individuals like Shar. But it's entirely possible we could equip others with them. He kind of lets that hang.
Street legal?
Hmm?
Those things street legal?
Of course not. If you were seen wearing one of those, it would be quite difficult, but fortunately they have a stealth system.
That sounds pretty military.
Indeed. I would say they are all military grade, along with the custom heavy submachine guns we designed for them. Well, here, you can take a look if you like. Pulls out a tablet and gives you a couple of the schematics on it. There's like little informational videos and stuff. I'm actually going to make a presentation to the council the next time we have a meeting where I have a chance. And you see like the example video and stuff. One, the things that would jump out at you as someone with military experience. One, the suit enhances people's strength and hand-eye coordination. Like, it makes them faster and stronger. Like, there are servos and shit in there. Hydraulics. It's an exosuit. Number 2, it can turn invisible. Number 3, the guns that go with it fire absolutely silently. Like, or there's like a vague clicking noise. It's virtually silent.
You managed to manufacture nearly fully effective silencers?
It was actually a slight challenge, but yes. And yes, we are fully aware out of character that like silencers do not work like they do in the movies.
Yeah,
they would.
You can hear them if you're close enough. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. In this case, they literally would make a noise like this if you're at close range. Like that.
Right. Wes kind of looks it over and he kind of sighs. You know, last time military equipment, not even to this level, got out onto the street, we kind of had to clean it up, if you know what I mean.
That would be why we're not going to...
CIA training.
That would be why we're not going to allow this onto the street. This is going to be used in defense of the council. I don't plan on spreading these weapons to anyone else. It'll be tightly controlled. Besides, the ammunition is custom as well. If someone were to get a hold of one of these weapons, it might be problematic, but they would have to reverse engineer the entire thing, and I believe they would find that the work of several years.
I'd hope so, because I really don't plan on trying to shoot one of those and not get hit back anytime soon.
Well, in any case, I thought you might enjoy seeing it. There might be a possibility of hiring you and your men at some point, if you aren't hired by Miss Adriana. Given she is now the devil, as you heard, no pun intended, she may have use for you and your fellows, but if not, I'm sure we would. But at the moment, I lack any place to put you people, no offense. Even if I came up with the funds, which probably could, I have no place to house you.
No offense taken. Wes kind of shifts around in his pocket and hands him a card with a surprisingly nice-looking logo of a kind of silhouetted gladiator's helmet.
Ooh,
just
fancy.
Keep it around, just in case, I guess.
And here is my number as well. And he gives you a little card. Just has a number, no name, nothing else. I will talk to you at another time, Mr. Roth. And with that, he heads towards the elevator. Because we went like twice the length of the scene we were planning for. I'm a horrible person.
Happens.
Anything else, or are we good to end?
No.
All right.
That sounds pretty... Yeah.
And with that, we bring the scene to a close. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. And have a good night.